Welcome, class. Today we are starting mentor sentences. This is one of my favorite, but is also one of the most difficult projects that we will do all year. This is going to be a bi-weekly project that you work on, and today's video is an overview and a guide. So I'm actually doing steps 1 and steps 2 today. Typically, you would do this first step on your own. You would make Monday musings, and you would take note of some of these 8 things. You might take note of the sentence type. Is it simple, compound, complex, or compound complex? You might take note of all of the parts of speech, the punctuation, the figure of language, the root words and the affixes that you see, the capitalization if that is interesting, the homophones, or the word choice. I'm going to be today focusing on just a few of these. I never expect you to do all 8. I expect you to be flexible and try these different things out. This is, of course, the first step that you would do this on your own. The second step is that I will model my thoughts on these, hopefully adding to what you see, but eventually you will become just as smart and just as capable of analyzing these sentences as I am. So, let's look at this sentence. The singing of this song threw the animals into the wildest excitement. This, of course, comes from Animal Farm. And the first thing I always like to do is identify what is this sentence about? What is the subject? And right here I have it, the singing of this song. The sentence is about the singing. And that's a really interesting subject. It is a noun. Subjects are always nouns. But you might say singing, ing, that indicates it's a verb. Well, in this instance, it is a verb acting as a noun that is a gerund, which we'll talk a lot about this year. That is quite possible to have a verb acting as a noun. Bicycling is my favorite. What is my favorite? Bicycling. So I have turned that verb into a noun. It is very possible. The next thing we always ask ourselves is, what is that noun doing? What is the subject doing? And that's what I find my simple predicate, singing through. And that is my simple sentence. It sounds very awkward, but if you had something more easy like Walt ran, or Spot ran, like a name of a dog or a name of a person, and then a verb, that would be a simple sentence, and you would see that. So this is the exact same thing, singing through. I've gone on to the next thing, and I'm still trying to identify something, and you probably can identify these. These are my nouns, my person, places, and things. These are definitely nouns, and one of them is an abstract noun. It's not something that is actually physically possible to touch. I wonder if you know which one it is. The next thing I looked for was articles. Articles always precede nouns or noun phrases. Articles are determiners, the singing, the animals, and the wildest excitement. These articles, there are 3 of them, a, the, and it. I'm forgetting on the third one, I'm sorry. A, n, and the, oh my gosh. All right, see, everybody makes mistakes, but this is a determiner in this instance, and it still functions as an article. In green, I have highlighted my next word, and you should probably know what this is, but if you did not, you should know it's an adjective. And I would ask you, what does it modify? And that's always a good indicator of what type of part of speech this word is, by asking, what does it do? What is it modifying? My last thing in this sentence is 2 prepositions. Location, time, and place, preposition in your face. That's what prepositions do. It tells us where the animals were, where the animals went, when this occurred. So the singing of this song threw the animals into the wildest excitement. These are prepositions. When I go back and I look at the next thing, I started to see some suffixes, some important suffixes. And these suffixes indicate what type of word these are, the parts of speech. And I had 3. They're highlighted in different colors because they indicated different ideas. Meant was signifying a noun. EST is a superlative, and it's signifying an adjective. And ing, even though it's not actually a verb in this instance, it is signifying a verb. Now, verbs are kind of funny. Verbs can act as nouns, verbs, or adjectives, but they are still taking that verb form. That's why it's called a gerund and not a noun. So these are some suffixes that I saw. Did you see any other suffixes? There is one other one hidden in here that indicates plurals. The last thing I looked at for this was figurative speech, figurative language. And the first thing I saw was a little bit of alliteration. Alliteration can be consonants or assonance. And in this instance, it was consonants because it was the S sound, the singing of this song through the animals into the wildest excitement. So that S sound is repeated. I really like alliteration. If you're trying to impress me, definitely use it. I just am a big fan. It's my personal preference. The next thing I saw was personification, and it's Animal Farm, so there's going to be personification throughout this entire novel. It is everywhere. It is omnipresent. And the last thing I saw was a little bit of a word choice play on that the author chose. They chose to use wild. And these are all domesticated animals, but they are showing the wildest excitement. So it's a little bit of contradiction in there, which made me think that this is really important. And so that was my last key. You guys will be starting to work on this sentence. And what I'm looking for you to do is take this sentence and edit it. Improve the sound of this sentence. So the singing of this song through the animals into the wildest excitement. If you were the author, how would you improve this sentence, this idea, this intent? And that is the message. If you're looking for further instruction, there is plenty on the pages for mentor sentence instructions. Or you can talk to me and email me. I will be available. But that is your follow-up for tomorrow, and you should be posting that on your discussion page. Thanks, and keep on learning.